Welcome to the 24th floor. I'm Richard Denson alongside Ruben Diaz. Some people call this duo R2D2.
No, they don't.
And
You're the only one who does that.
Yes, they do. You know, Ruben, the contrarian as he is, and after a lot of persistence, we finally got this guest in the building.
Yeah, excited about today. An exclusive sit down with new Memphis Tigers head football coach, Mr. Charles Huff. Welcome, Coach Huff.
Thank you, guys.
To the building.
Yeah,
we
appreciate you guys having me.
You just dropped it already. While he picks the prompter up, let's get things started. First of all, how you feeling about Memphis?
Good. It's been great. The welcome has been great. Obviously, the city, the community, the energy around Memphis football was already high before I got here. So just being able to infuse myself and our family and our coaching staff and our organization in that, it's been great. We got a lot of work to do, but the first few months have been phenomenal.
Awesome.
And for the people who don't know about your background, your previous stops, you were in Marshall, you had Southern Miss, you've kind of turned those programs around, but those cities can't quite compare to a city of Memphis. What surprised you the most about Memphis so far?
Typically most college programs are in college towns.
Yeah.
Memphis has a unique position because we're in a city, but it still feels like a small town. There's still enough passion, there's still enough excitement. Sometimes you get in big cities in the school where the college can get lost. That doesn't happen here in Memphis. Obviously, there's plenty of places to eat, there's plenty of things to do. Memphis in May has been phenomenal. There's a lot of things coming up this summer. So just giving the opportunity to enjoy the city, the community, but still not feel like you're getting drowned out by the size of the city or another professional sports team in the same arena. So it's been great.
My son is 12, plays football. He wants to go play at Miami. My oldest son, who's 27, tells him nobody goes to the games at Miami. So to your point, you're at a place where they're passionate about football. What's been the response from people so far as you've been out? Because I know you've had to do a lot of handshaking and baby kissing right now. That's the start of this thing.
That's part of it. But it's been great. This community is, they've been baptized in success.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So the previous coaches before me have been successful. Sometimes we lose sight of that because we maybe don't get to the pinnacle, or maybe we think we can be better, which is all understandable. But this city has an understanding of what success looks like. So they are excited about the possibility that we have to take the next step or to close the gap. So it's been great. The fans have been great. Now, we haven't lost a game. I haven't made a bad call.
Hey, he's winning.
I understand that as soon as we punt, it's going to be boos. As soon as we don't play well, I understand that. But the initial excitement, the initial support has been great.
I know from your opening press conference, two things that stuck out to me was when you're saying spot the ball. And obviously, in this area, we hear that also from Pete Golding, because that's the Ole Miss football coach, and that's also a team we cover. But I remember that, and then I remember you saying Google you. And because of the success rate that you've had at other programs turning teams around. And in this city, this community wants to see winners. That was something with the previous man, while his kind of welcome wore out. When we watch your football team, what do you want the fans to expect from every time y'all take the field?
Yeah, well, I can't sit here and tell you we're going to win every game, right? That's unrealistic.
Yeah.
But I do think our goal is to make sure the fans appreciate how we play.
Yeah.
How hard do we go out and represent the M? How much excitement do we give the fans that pay hard-earned dollars to come watch us play? We want to make sure that when you come to see us play, you feel like you have paid or that you have got your money's worth. Obviously, the goal is to win, and if I don't do that, there'll be another head coach here doing your show. I get that, but with the understanding of not setting expectations too high, but also understanding that we are standing on fertile ground. There's a lot of resources here. There's a lot of support here. So we should expect victory. Yeah. Now, the reality of it is it comes down to execution, but we want to make sure that when the fans watch us play, they say that team played extremely hard. Yeah. They were bought in. They gave us a show. They gave us an opportunity for something to come back for.
I've said all for years, effort and energy are two things that are non-negotiable, right? So if your team plays with effort and energy, win or lose, you can't really be mad.
Correct.
Because they gave you everything they
Well,
had.
in Memphis, man, they'll be mad if you lose. Now, they will acknowledge that you played hard, but they will say, well, you still should have won, which we understand.
Yeah.
But that's part of it, right? The fans have a right, in my opinion, to want to win, right? That's what they invest for, not just money, but that's what they invest their time. Yeah. That's what they invest, going to work and, flying the colors and supporting the program. So they should want to win. My job is to help kind of set expectations. What does it take to win? Not just, someone can throw us $30 million and we can go win every game, but is that going to be something that's sustainable, something that's going to be appreciated? Is that going to be something that the players in the community are going to be good representatives of this community? Are the fans going to feel like, hey, we got to know this quarterback, we got to know this running back? That's the goal in winning, not just winning the game, but winning holistically.
What I've kind of already seen is even in the few months that you've been here, we know that you are a different flavor for Memphis, and you talk a lot about standards and discipline. We'll get into a little bit kind of how your practice is, how we heard it could be like the Navy SEALs. But where does that mentality come from?
Well, I was raised by my grandmother. Grew up on a farm, so discipline was something that was instilled in me from the beginning. My father was a college basketball coach. My uncles raised us to understand if you work harder than the people next to you, you're going to create opportunities for yourself. And then I've also been around this game long enough to know, and people, it's a game, yes. But when I get a young man who has an opportunity to change his family's career or his family's fortune through a game of football, and when I say a game of football, that includes academics, that includes getting to meet some of the donors, getting to meet some exposure that they may have, that is a serious event to me, right? Because these young men that we get, whether we get them for 6 months or 4 years, their families are entrusting us to return them better than when they came. So it's not just a game to me. This is a life-changing experience. And yes, losing a game matters to me. It matters more than anything. But having a young man not be successful after leaving our program matters as well. So yes, it is very important to us. With all of that, we don't have a lot of time for the fluff and the glitz and the glamour, right? So we got to get down to it. If you can be a disciplined person in life, you have a better chance to be successful. So we try to get our kids to understand we got a very short window, 4 years, 6 months, whatever it may be. We have to get right down to it. And some of that eliminates some of the fun, what people say. But what is fun, we just watched the NFL draft and watched how many young men hug their mamas and hug their families for all the hard work they put in.
Long-term goals.
Now, they don't have necessarily, we just had on campus graduation, right? A lot of our players went through that. Those two things to me are opportunities that we're responsible for while we're here.
Yeah. Yep. So I'm guessing that means we're not going to see like dunks on the sideline when somebody gets an interception. We're not gonna, no big gold, fake gold chain.
Well, I believe this. I believe
a throne.
I believe this. I don't believe in gimmicks, but I do believe in allowing the players to have an identity.
Yeah.
My philosophy is this. We work extremely hard from Sunday to kickoff. Mm-hmm. Once we get to kickoff, they can have all the fun they want to have. But from Sunday to kickoff, we got to be locked in. And that was my comment when I said like the Navy SEALs. When they're crawling through the mud and they're climbing over walls and they're getting ready for a war, not traveling to the war, but when they're crawling through the mud and they're simulating, entering buildings and clearing buildings, they're locked in. Yeah. Because when they get into the real arena, they got to be focused. You're talking about life or death, and I get it. War is totally different than football, but it's life or death to me too. Yeah. I have these young men's careers and lives in my hands, and I have to be ultimately responsible for preparing them for life. We all know life's hard. War is totally different. Don't get me wrong, all right? And I'm not by any means comparing or separating the two, but life is hard. If you enter this world without an education, you enter this world without some type of leg up, it's hard. Yeah. We have issues in our community and all across the country because there are so many people in the world who don't have an opportunity or don't have an avenue, so they have to go to ulterior avenues. Well, I'm here to make sure that the guys that come through our program don't have to do that. They have the core values, they have the discipline, they have the understanding of what it takes to be successful. Whatever it is. Maybe they're sitting up here and being sportscasters one day.
They can take his job.
Yeah, maybe they're being businessmen.
Please get him out of here.
Get him out of here. Whatever it is. Get him out of here. Yeah.
I'm Michael Penix. This Kirk Cousins.
There you go. Get him out of here. Yeah, we got to move forward. We got to move forward.
Who's had more contracts?
Okay,
Okay,
you're
then.
64 years old. Come on.
Who's had more contracts?
64
Michael Penix and Kirk Cousins. All
I
right,
get
that's
it.
all
He
I'm
was
saying.
rocking with Dr. King
I
a few
get it.
decades ago.
And I still look good. Let's say something else.
I get it. I get it.
All right, but Coach, you talk about the team. Spring ball is over now. Unfortunately, we weren't able to come see you guys because Mother Nature, put a damper literally on the Spring Football Fest. What do you feel best about where your team is at right now?
One, we went through spring without any injuries, right? And that's a huge piece because depth is something that every team in the country is fighting and starving to create. The second thing is I thought we got better. This was the first time as a head coach that I've gone through a spring practice where there wasn't a day that you're like pulling teeth to get them to go. And when you can get that, doesn't mean every day is going to be perfect, but when you can get them to show up every single day, willing and wanting to improve, then you make strides. And I think we made those strides. Now, we still got a long way to go. And the summer is where the team is going to be formed. When we left our last team meeting before we released them for their kind of May break, I told them the team's in your hands now. Over the summer is where the team gets connected. Over the summer is where the team decides, are we going to play for each other? Or are we just going to go out here together in the same uniform? And these next few months are crucial, important. And the coaches are around and we support, but we really have to step back and let the players take ownership of the team now. Let the players take ownership of the standards. Let the players take ownership of what they're willing to accept and not accept.
We've talked a lot about the philosophy and the standards and all the other stuff around, but we only got a couple minutes left. Let's get to the nitty gritty if we can, because everybody wants to know, have you guys been able to, I know it's been so early, are you starting to get a feel for who QB1's going to be and running back 1's going to be like? Are you starting to get that feel, even if you don't want to announce it yet?
No, and we don't know, and that's not coach speak. We have a group of guys, and our goal coming out of spring was what group of guys do we feel can play consistent football? We've identified that. The next step is deciding who the QB1 is or who the leaders are. Who takes the lead in the summer? Right, when the coaches step back, which QB is going to have the barbecues? Which QB is going to lead this 7-on-7? Which QB is going to grab a receiver and say, hey, man, I know you're struggling. Come, let's go to lunch.
Gotcha.
That, to me, is deciding who the quarterback is. I'm a true believer there's two quarterbacks on every team, two types of quarterbacks. One is the quarterback on the team. He wears the uniform. He's in the position. Everybody knows, hey, that's a quarterback. And then there's a quarterback of the team. When that guy walks into the building, everyone knows that's our quarterback. That is, to me, identified through the summer. And that's what we're waiting to see. Both of those guys have had unbelievable summers, and the other positions the same way. Both of those guys have had unbelievable springs, Both of those guys have done what we've asked them to do up to this point. What we cannot create is leadership. I can't make you lead. I can do it. I can say, hey, have a barbecue this afternoon.
But it ain't same.
But it's not going to be organic, right? So we have to figure out who is able to do that organically and then go into the summer and say, okay, you've shown that you're able to do it organically. Now let's put the consistency together and we put a game plan together getting ready for game 1.
Coach Huff, it's a lot that we can get into, but they're wrapping us on time. We sincerely appreciate you joining us on the program. Feel free to come back. You can take his spot.
I'll be back anytime.
This is a hard chair to fill, brother.
Well, actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to retire the night before the first game. You can coach the game. I'll sit over here and critique and tell you how bad it was. Then he and I will really flash back to how bad you were and then how bad a coach you were. Right Same deal.
It'd be L's for days if you got me coaching, brother. I'm telling you right now.
Absolutely. Coach, thank you so much
for joining
on the program.
Thank you guys.
Absolutely.
Really
Check out U of M at Liberty. And then they got the nice renovations, too. You got to win with the nice renovations.
Got to win.
Level and everything.
Got to win. Need you guys to come out and support. Need you guys to fill that stadium. Need that energy. Need that support to help us out this season.
Yep, absolutely. Make sure and go watch the game. Support the squad.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back over Mother's Day weekend, I took the show on the road to Tunica County for a special conversation with Super Bowl champion and Horn Lake native Nakobe Dean and his mom. We talked football, family, legacy, and why giving back to the next generation means so much to them. That conversation from North Mississippi is next on the 24th floor.